next thing to do is drill a pilot hole in the end of the piece that you want to join to the shorter end. So we drill a pilot hole first of all in order to avoid the wood splitting, and then bevel the hole using one of these in order to accommodate the screw head, and then we screw them together. Now what I've done on the back of the board is I've measured the width of this piece and then drawn this line in so I know where the centre of these holes needs to be. Now these holes are every 9 inches and there's 3 of them, 2, 3, along the underneath edge of the board. Because what I'm going to do now is same routine, pilot hole, recess and screw them together, and do that down every edge of the board, and we'll have a really good fix on all over the board then. So what I've started to do now is cut out the polystyrene on essentially 3 layers. This polystyrene is 5mm thick, so if we cut it out in those layers, what we get then is a bit of a ridge left here, because we want these boards to be able to stack, so we'll leave it a little bit beneath here, and that'll give us some room for some spackle and some other effects that we want to put on there. But following that basic pattern that we put on, roughly following that, we're just going to build those layers up like this before we then start to texture it properly. Okay, so here is the finished article. We've got the little islands in the middle of the valley and the valley itself all set up now, just with a few weights on to get things pinned down and drying. Good stuff. So the next thing to do is just let this dry, and then we can start to texture it with things like this, wood filler and some sand and PVA glue, etc. Now that all the wood filler's dry and we've got the texture on the board that we need, what I've done now is to cover it in a base coat of red paint. This is fairly dark, but the light's shining off this as it's still a bit wet at the moment. The next step will be to make the sort of orange layer that's on the flats and the edges.